Super excited to announce the Law Firm Retreat Design Your Future being held this August 5th through 8th, 2026 in the Denver, Colorado area. Teaming up with law firm architects, Aparti.ai Group, we're going to be having an amazing opportunity for up to 15 firms to work on the business, not in the business. Find out more at aparti.group.com. Welcome back, everyone. This is Ruby Powers, your host of Power Up Your Practice, and I have two special guests, Naidis and Igor Sheremet, and they are the co-founders of Aparti.ai. So welcome to the show.
Thank you, Ruby.
Thank you, Ruby. Thank you for having us.
Well, so it is a AI-powered operations, billing intelligence, workflow automation, and operational efficiency platform for family law firms. So, or I can let you put it in your own words, but it sounds like you have been building a company helping family law firms rethink the way they manage the operations, billing, and workflow efficiency. So I love innovation. I love thinking outside the box. And Igor and I met at TLTF, the Legal Tech Fund, last fall in Austin. I think it was like at the very tail end of the whole conference. It was like the last day or last hours or something like that. And so, and then we've stayed in touch. So that's been great. Tell us, before we go further in, tell us a little bit more about what Aparti.ai is and what you've been up to with that.
You basically described parts of it.
All the words.
You used all the right words there.
Okay, great.
We're building an operational system for family law firms and automating the most painful parts of the process, from intake to financial discovery. And the billing intelligence layer is our latest product that helps firms to actually more focus on actually lawyering rather than chasing invoices, billings, and we're closing the gap. We're like operational layer for law firms to communicate with their clients, to get the information to their clients. And we build this whole communication center where clients of law firms also reducing this friction in understanding why they're billed for, what they're paying for, and boosting basically revenue and reducing the time from invoice being sent to paid.
Wow, that sounds like almost too good to be true. So, but that's good to hear. It's almost like when I tell people, like, if we could wave the magic wand and have our ideal case management software and integrations and all the different platforms we need, from like a client portal to billing to, the forms or whatever, like, what would we want it to look like? It sounds like that's what you're working on. And
I heard they said Aparti, right?
Yeah.
We did a lot of interviews as well with the family lawyers to understand, with exactly the same question about Magic Wand, what will be tool which help them and what the problem is number one for their firms.
This episode is sponsored by Candle.ai, the legal email assistant that helps legal teams spend less time on client emails. You heard me right, spending less time on emails. Candle.ai works with both Gmail and Outlook, so you don't have to learn a new tool. And then it connects with popular case management systems like Clio, Filevine, iNetSoon, and more to come. It instantly shows you your case and the client details the moment you open a client email, and right inside your inbox. And then that means less context switching and time spent jumping to different tabs to figure out what you need to respond. Candle can also draft context-aware responses to client emails and makes it easy to create, edit, and manage your email templates. If you want to save time and take back control of your inbox, check out Candle.ai. I highly suggest it. Yeah. Well, and then you've been focusing on family law, and you say that why is family law so ripe for innovation? I don't know, compared to others, let's just focus on family law because that's what we're talking about. But why do you think it's so ripe for innovation right now?
Who want to start?
Let me start. You'll continue. I think family law is becoming this one of the biggest opportunities in the legal tech space in general. It's high case volume. It's very emotionally intense with the clients. It's constant operational activity, and it's still managed, comparing to other parts of the law, it's still managed through multiple fragmented tools right now.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I think the rise with old tools like Harvey, Legora, CoCounsel, LexisNexis, showing that the legal AI is moving into the right direction, and from experimental, it's going into the core infrastructure. Those tools are focusing on the legal research, due diligence, like CoCounsel also helping with the drafting, document analysis, but it's still part of like the part where it's not being covered is a family law, because those old tools are for big law, corporate law, and legal research.
I see. I latched onto the idea of the fragmented tools, because I think that's really where we're in, is this whole debate on one place where everything is and we stay there, or a lot of different tools that connect. But whichever one works for you, we want to make sure that that it's not fragmented, and that it's ease of use, no matter what. But and do you so what are some of the challenges that you have seen that inspired you to create Aparti?
You go ahead.
I think there's a few data points actually what we see in the family law, that for example, family law has around 38% of utilization rate, which means for 3 billable hours in 8 work day, you usually bill for 2.6 hours, which means there's a lot of lost opportunities for the family law. There's a lot of emails, calls, like emotional follow-up, client coordination, and this problem is actually very personal for a lot of people in our team. That's
Yeah, I would say that probably 90% of our team has either gone through divorce or going through divorce, or somehow relate to that process. And it's actually started back a few years, like when Anna and our third co-founder worked together, and she started going through a divorce process. Not Anna, but the third one. And Anna told me about how archaic this process is. And I told her back in the days, I said wow, that's a great idea. You should definitely do that. And I was working on a fintech company that I built here back then. But fast forward a couple of years, I'm in the process of divorce, and I'm like, okay, it definitely needs some automation, some more tech approach. And we ran a couple tests, and it exploded. We've had 400,000 views on Twitter in 48 hours.
Oh wow!
About Aparti. And since then we're like, okay, that's the place to be in the build.
So so how do you minimize how do you minimize all those emotional calls and contact touch points? What does Aparti do to help save the attorney time on that?
I think one of the biggest overseens or gaps is exactly communication. There's no transparency and visibility during the process of the divorce. And we are helping lawyers to connect with their clients through our platform, where clients can see all the bills, they can see what they've been charged for, they can ask questions, they can work with AI, MCP, with AI empathetic chatbot, and ask additional questions about the process. And this releases a lot of emotional burden, which is going to the client and to the lawyer. Lawyers pretty often sharing that they're becoming therapists in this process when you always need to communicate. We have a dashboard where clients can see the progress of their case, where they can see the invoices, as I mentioned, and can communicate easily between.
Yeah, I would say also, a lot of every case in the family law. Probably you can say about this about almost any part of law, but every case in family law separates your life on the before and after. Divorce, there's trusts and wills, right? All kind of things. And the emotional aspect of it is very high. And as you mentioned, in order to reduce it, people often looking just for something simple like transparency. You can't get a hold of your lawyer every second you need them, right? You can't go at the middle of the night and call them, or you saw the email and there's an invoice in the email and you don't understand what's going on. You're already in the whole process of divorce or something. You're like emotionally drained, and then you get a huge bill in the end of the month. So we build a system that, besides just helping for lawyers to get paid in time, right? It actually communicates with the client, and clients have ability to have full visibility of everything. They can actually have ability to, lawyers can assign them tasks. Lawyers can put in the calendar upcoming events. Yeah. So people are prepared, and nothing is a surprise for them. It's not like, oh, okay, bam.
Next week I have a trial and I don't know.
And like that's $20,000 extra.
And that's one of the problems with the, not with the system in general, but like there's some trials happening, like there were nothing for 2 months, and then you have multiple events, and then you have multiple invoices.
So it's like more robust than just using email or text or phone calls. Like it's like a combination of like a dashboard or client portal to help communicate what to expect going forward, and can help collect documents and also provide tasks for the client to move forward.
Yeah. That's kind of the idea, right? Where it's operational. We call it operational system. The idea is to make a one-stop shop to run your family law practice as a business unit.
So like a project management tool, but between the client and the law firm in a way. Well, I mean, I could see the parallels. Like, so for those listening who don't do family law, you know, my area of practice is very emotional, and a lot of it is about immigration, and it's a lot about, you know, what's going on, and I haven't heard from you, or like, this is what's going on, or we're waiting. There's nothing much to say, but there's the no update, you know, but there's a lot of anxiety in my space right now. And so like whatever we can do to try to like people digest information at different ways. And so whatever I can do to sort of like give them an email in advance, and then maybe have to follow up with a phone call potentially, but you know, client portals or updates, or the no update, or like the pizza tracker, your case is pending, you know, somebody's doing something, it hasn't been lost, you know.
Yeah, and that's
Joey,
important.
Yeah, Joey's putting the pepperonis on the pizza.
Yeah.
Something is happening. Don't fret, you know.
And we're very familiar with immigration law.
Yeah, okay.
As you can tell from our names.
Well, I never assume anything. So, anyway, I mean, I think that you're right. Like, if you know this is the way things normally run, and you can give, and I think the other thing I've noticed, my parallel to this conversation too, is like when you have that first consult, you tell them a whole bunch of stuff, but you know they're not retaining everything you just said. And I say, okay, here's a piece of paper, and here's what I said, and I'm going to send a follow-up email. You know, here, hopefully you can retain a lot of but at the same time, you're going to have to reinforce those things. And as you get closer, questions that really never came up, you want to be able to communicate that to them, you know, answers to them. So I think whatever can be done to help smooth that transition or that client experience, all for it. And now AI is making it a lot easier to do so.
Yeah. 100%.
And so, Aparti, do you integrate with some other platforms or programs?
Yeah, so Aparti is a layer on top of existing case management systems. So we build integrations with the major players in the market, and the way it works, you basically we build a system in a way that when you come to Aparti, you use your credentials from the case management system, log in, and we connect with case management system and pull the data from there, so that we can start running this workflows automatically. So basically what you'll need to do is just review through a few inputs, like some email communication, if we have different options for you to generate and draft emails. And we actually have a funny story from one actually corporate lawyer, our corporate lawyer. He asked us to add a feature because he has very specific wording for emails, like, okay, this is the first time I'm reminding about the invoice, or this is the second time, this is the third one. And he said that the best and the strongest version is when he starts his email with, "Hello, my partners give me grief about this." So he has to, his invoice starts with this.
Well, I'm speaking about the billing. What are firms struggling more with, the billing capture, administrative work, collections, or communications? Like, from all the research that you've had so far in the space that you're in.
On average, the market numbers are about 90% is a collection rate for overall law firms, which means 10% is being lost. But for the family law, benchmark is somewhere around 65 to 80%. Like, we can say that from 40 to 20% of their bills are not covered. And this is the big problem for specifically for small and medium law firms who want to serve different type of the clients. And we understood that that's where we need to help them. We need to help them with collecting those bills again, because it's emotional space, in very gentle way of like managing those bills, understanding where they are in the pipeline. It just bill been sent? Is it like a 7 days without any answer? Is it 2 weeks without any answers? And helping them to run the firm in the way that they can serve more people. They don't need to spend time on like actually back office work.
As we mentioned, right now, everything is fragmented, and you send the invoice, what's happened next? You need to go to a separate thing, right? But you also need to go and take care of the case. There's another case, or like you need to run a lot of things at the same time, simultaneously. And all of this affects your performance as a business, as a firm, as a person. You're getting burned out, right? Huge problem, we know, in the space in general, getting burned out. And we believe that filling the gap right now, we feel there's like a gap in a system that unites all of that under one roof. And we think that connecting the full matter life cycle from intake to invoice to payment is the solution.
Wow. And so, I mean, you're right. I think the more hats you have to wear, the more it slows you down. It's more of that switch tasking, and you're constantly sort of triaging, like, what am I supposed to do next? And, is that, I once, from one of my first legal assistants, she was like, always get things back into the client's court and not have that many people waiting on you, and like always trying to get it that they're not, that it's not in your court. But you're right. I mean, a lot of what we do as lawyers is bouncing around from like addressing the issue, putting in our time, or telling them what we just said, and then putting in the notes, and then like going on to the next thing, and like having a little mental commercial break, like, okay, what are we doing? And then, okay, now move on to the next one, and so on and so forth. So whatever tools are out there that can help make our lives more efficient in all the different functions. You asked this question. I mean, in prep, I'm curious what you're going to say. What operational bottlenecks do attorneys often overlook, like that they don't consider as much as big as they really are?
I think, and actually there's, as you mentioned, I did a research, and I also did a lot of analysis of the reviews on the Google, on Yelp of the family law firm, is actually communication. Like, that's the one of the biggest feedback. A lot of law firms, a lot of great lawyers put their heart and soul, they put their time to help you with the case. And because they are serving from 20 to 50 cases per month, sometimes it's like the communication with the client could be overseen. And you can see that there's reviews on wonderful firms, and you know that their firm is actually great, but reviewed like, oh, there were no enough communication. They didn't send me email. They didn't answer my calls. I think that's like a really one of the big gaps.
I would go in a little different direction. From conversations that we're having with lawyers, there's a few simple questions. When you ask them, I think the bottleneck is reality check. And this often happens when we talk to lawyers. We ask, like, okay, what's your collection rate? Well, no, just specifically to us, let's say everybody says it's 90%.
All the time.
But then
Close
we
to 100.
recently we had a couple of calls with clients, and they said like 60, 70. But then the question is, in what time period, right?
Mm.
And then you're getting to the roots, and you are understanding that they are actually getting to 90% within 90 days, right? So there's a huge lockup period. And I think often when things are going good or something, this part is getting like overseen, right? And the bottlenecks are also in managing the replenishments of trust accounts,
Yep.
right? Everybody wants to have
Yeah.
evergreen retainer, right? So that you send invoice
Yeah.
and it's automatically paid. But if you're sending an invoice and there's not enough money in trust, right? So you need to chase to do that. And I think
someone has to run after the money, and you have to be on pause until you can go forward, and then you don't know when it gets replenished. And then, now we can keep going. Like when I describe hourly billing to some of my clients, I say I feel like it makes sense. It's like gas in the gas tank. Like we don't want to go below a certain number, because then we're gonna all be freaking out that we don't know if we're gonna be running on fumes, and we're just gonna be focusing on that instead of the actual where we're trying to go. And so maybe that's a little oversimplification, but some of my clients are not used. Yeah, I was like, but if we know there's always a steady stream of gas in the tank, then we can just focus on what we were hired to do, and focus on giving you the best service.
You're right on that. And the moment, like, also at the same time, if there's a court or something, you can't just say like, okay, we're out.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
like when we're like 2 weeks away from a final hearing, I can't be like, peace out. You didn't pay me.
Wait,
like,
what's up?
I want to be like that, but I can't,
Exactly. And this kind of like the whole thing. And you need to think about this, right? On the back of your mind. And who's running the trust replenishments? How it works? Right? Do we get a credit card, or do we get what happens? What is the threshold when you need hey,
it triggers replenishment or pausing it, right?
Yeah, and so these are like the bottlenecks that we look into, and it's true, right? It's as you said. I love your example actually. You can't run all the time on fumes.
Yeah.
Right, your engine it doesn't work like that. You need actual gas in a tank.
Exactly.
And there's a poor lawyers who like every month they need to send like 100 emails, follow-ups about the upcoming bills or not paid bills, instead of helping on the cases.
Right. Well, I mean, I think one of the things that AI has told us or shown us is that we need to be using our highest and best use of our time as lawyers, and chasing after the money and these automation communications and things like that. There's not what we should be spending our time on. We should be leveraging the technology that people like you are building for us, and other programs out there. I mean, speaking of everyone talking about AI, we usually have somebody talking about it on this podcast. But where are you seeing some of that real value today, especially for lawyers? Because there's some who listen who are all into it, and some are still like a little hesitant, but we're trying to convert them.
Let's try to convert them.
Yeah, there's definitely we can see there is a positive trend where in last couple years before 2026 there were a lot of fears, and one of the biggest word was hallucinations.
Yeah,
that's actually true. When you start researching about the case, and it's coming up with some not realistic facts or not existing cases, but technology are improving, and I think 2026 is definitely a year of legal tech. I will say a couple things. Definitely research, analysis of contracts, and then helping with the workflows, what our company is doing. That's a 3 big major flows where AI will definitely help to make you more efficient, wherein you can do what you love, is actually lawyering, helping like resolve case. AI here to help you prepare for the case, to move it forward. What do you think else could be?
I mean, I think that's the right now, the stage where we are right now with AI, right, with all of the tools and everything. I think what Anna mentioned, like drafting, redlining, preparations, research, discovery, is somewhere where AI can significantly boost the law firms. I do believe that there always should be a professional human in the loop
Absolutely.
to do like the final review, or to look into like red lines or something. I do believe that with development of AI that we see right now at this stage, there's a lot of opportunities in other specific workflows, like automating other parts of the practice. But overall, I think that those who have, we were discussing actually just a few hours ago, there was a big legal tech event, and it's happening also the next 2 days in San Francisco, with the top legal tech companies. So we had a chance to discuss that with a couple of founders, that the most beneficiaries of the AI technology are going to be already existing firms and the leadership firms, because they will just get everything faster in their hands, and they will just use their expertise in the very specific parts of the business. And it's it's a whole debate what's going to happen in the future. And one of the points that, by the way, we discussed on the Legal Tech Fund Summit was that with AI, we'll see lawyers who are charging like $100,000 an hour, because in that hour they will be able to achieve much more.
Yeah, and there's also been that whole conversation about getting rid of the billable hour as well. And usually when we talk about AI, we talk about family law. That's usually a conversation that comes up very frequently. But I think that we're still in this like transition phase where we're trying to see how much time does it really take if we leverage all the technology that we have at our disposal. We train our clients to communicate with us the way we need to and be as efficient as possible. How could we better serve them, and what what financial point could we propose to them so that it could be a win-win across the board?
Yeah, and I think a lot of other stuff is coming from the changed mindset of the clients of the law firm. I'm pretty sure a lot of them have now expectations that legal practitioners should use AI. So coming back to original question in the beginning about if somebody who's listening to the podcast is hesitant about using AI still, I think the answer here is simple: is AI will not replace your practice, but if those law firms that using AI, they might actually get into your market. And I think expectations of clients will be that your firm and every firm uses AI to a certain degree and capacity. They're still going to come to a law firm because we as human beings, we still need human input. We trust human much more. Like I'll trust myself to a law firm that uses a ton of AI and then gives the final review and gives me their perspective from their experience. Because a lot of these cases, they're about human relations, right? Opposing party, or how you're going to engage with them and how it's going to be. It's not going to be two AIs just sending messages to
AI bots hashing it out. Yeah.
Right now.
At least right now, sending zeros and ones in like 5 seconds.
I mean, if it can knock out some of the inefficiencies, then great. But like ultimately, I think the goal is for the very true human nature of this line of work, just to focus on that and to take away a lot of the bureaucracy, administration, and unnecessary work that we've been having to do since the dawn of the legal space, But so speaking of pretty much like the future of law firm operations, because I think we've heard that trend, that expression. It's like, the firms that know how are using AI, they're going to be ahead. It's not that you won't have a job, but the people who know how to use AI, or like I've heard some people telling their employees, like the staff that know how to use AI better are going to be the ones that progress, and have more job security, not necessarily being afraid that AI is going to take their position necessarily. But what does so as we're sort of getting closer to the end, I mean, what does a modern law firm operations tech stack or stack look like today, and what tools do you think every growing law firm should be considering? Are you feeling overwhelmed by all the different things you have to do to run a law firm? Well, you're not alone. So many law firm owners are in the same boat. That's where Staffy steps in. More than 90 firms just like yours are leaning on their bilingual virtual staff for legal, administrative, marketing, and client-facing work, plus their full HR support. I currently have 11 team members with Staffy across my own firm and Power Strategy Group, and it's been a total game changer. Schedule a free initial consultation at staffy.cc, that's stafi.cc, and use the code RUBY, RUBY, for $500 off.
I think there's a really big thing right now which called AI native law firm. Which you will start seeing more and more often. We were at Stanford Law Conference a month ago, and that was a really big topic. I think in terms of the tools, it should be, first of all, like tool about practice management, like a case management, automation of intake, not anymore sending a Google document to fill in information, then fill it again and again, is secure client portals where you can like trust, you make sure that it's trusted communication, it's cyber secure, deadline tracking, as we mentioned with you, where there's visibility of the timeline, what's happening, billing intelligence, what we are also offering, and payment plan that people can understand how much they can pay and in the different increments, e-signature, that you don't need to print things, that you can just sign, document collection in general. I think there's, and the thing is that some of those tools exist, but again, all fragmented. Some law firms are using them, some not. And that's one of the another challenges for all those softwares.
And for those listening, the AI native law firm is I had to just double check, is it built from the ground up with artificial intelligence as its core, and unlike traditional firms that add AI tools onto legacy processes, the AI native firm is designed as the entire workflow, business structure, and billing around intelligent systems. So that's exciting. I think that when we first had some of these tools, it was to add on to the legacy systems. But if you have if you're able to, and you can just sort of rebuild from the beginning, or from scratch up again, you could just make it all AI native. But I mean, that's a whole other conversation, I guess. But I think that's fascinating. And then apparently characteristics of the AI native are the AI first workflows, where the AI is the first pass before human attorneys transition in, or like it's also no billable hours or flattened pyramids, and other institutional knowledge retention. So I think it's an exciting time to be either starting or rebuilding or reimagining your law practice right now.
Yeah, I think the future is happening right now, and we're going to witness how the whole market is going to change. I think like within the next 5 years, it's going to be totally different. Billable versus billable hours versus flat fees, AI native firms versus firms who are heavily implementing AI on top of their existing practice. It will be interesting to see how the market will respond. And what's, I think, the benefit of this in the end of the day is access to justice. There's so many people cannot afford them to get access to justice. In our space, like I think in 80 or 90% of cases have one of the parties being self-represented. So I think if people have some, like, law firms will get more ability to onboard more clients and provide more help. So maybe overall everybody wins.
So just thinking about, like, since some of your founders went through the family law journey, versus the journey that you had versus the journey you want your clients to have, like, what's the difference in those two paths? What do they look like?
Okay, from the journey, what's the original journey? You make a decision, you make the first, you do research, you make then you do research, you go through some websites, getting some kind of DIY solutions. There are a few on the market. For our case, we're talking about, like, divorce, let's say. And then you get encouraged and you make a call. And then the whole process starts. You get a PDF file or something where you need to fill out the intake, or they get it over the phone, but you're still going to get the PDF. And then you need to get back to it, and you're frustrated. You don't want to do that. Then you send the paperwork to a lawyer. Your lawyer reviews it, comes back with some other steps that you need to do.
You need to find, like, a lot of information. You're postponing. It's taking time because you need to check everything very manually.
And you need to go and, for instance, you need to go to all your banks and collect all of your bank statements for the past whatever amount of years you want to do that. Versus, and sometimes it's hard for people just to make a call and start talking.
Yeah. Just that initial, and then to be thwarted or slowed down, or like this huge speed bump of, like, I need you to go find your entire life and put it in this one, like, folder. You're like, whoa, it took me a lot of courage just to make the phone call, and the same thing with, like, my clients, like, they're afraid. They're afraid of what I might tell them, and they'd rather live in ignorance sometimes than make that leap and pay for the consult. But anyway, continue. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I actually wanted to loop it back to your practice as well, because that's exactly, I think, the same, very similar. And very often we hear immigration and family law practice goes hand in hand, and they're often intersect, right? When one of the parties gets the documents approval for, I don't know, O1 visa, then the second party needs to, if they have, like, if they have wife or husband, they need to get the, like, O3 visa, right? So all kind of, I remember correct, all kind of this things. Versus now, in the future, it will be possible for you just to engage in the conversation. Right now, everybody's doing their research in ChatGPT or Claude, right? Tropic. But what if we get it, like, even deeper, right? If you have a very empathetic conversational AI that you're not afraid that and worried that it's like another person. What if they're going to judge me? What if they're going to tell me something that, oh, why it took you so long, or you should have done this before? When I can engage in communication with the initial conversation, get some answers to my questions through some AI-powered solutions, that on the back already preparing you to get on a call with a lawyer, right? And already collect initial information from you. I think that's very big difference. And I think we'll see this shift more and more, especially considering how newer generations are engaging with technology, right? For us,
doing calls,
less calls, and for us, like, I'm 36. I remember mobile phones happened during my lifetime. Now, next generation, let's say my sister, she was born already with all kind of devices, right? People who are born right now, they are already in the era of AI from day one, from day zero.
Like AI native. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's how the world is going to change. And so this is the future. If you're thinking about the future and the like, if you want to build a legacy practice, I think that's what you need to think about. If you want to build it for, like, upcoming, I don't know, 50 years or something, that's the approach. Because yes, it's one thing is what's happening now, but tell me 5 years ago that's going to be some kind a chat on the screen where I type things and it replies me all the answers in the world with sources of information where it got it through. I would have said, yeah, of course, it's called Google.
Yeah, it's so true. And I think in this whole like practice space, I've, had my firm almost 17 years this fall. And like we used to blame the clients on why they couldn't adapt to the technology, but I'm getting older, some of the clients are getting younger, some of the clients are getting older, but like their ability to adapt to technology. We went through the pandemic. If you want to get anything done, you got to figure it out. You've got to, you had to be able to get on Zoom or get on Webex or whatever it was, or Teams, figure out how to pay and negotiate or navigate life. Now, when you did the signal for phone, it just reminded me of how like there's these like TikTok memes or whatever where they say do the sign for photo, and then like, depending on your age, you might be doing like you have your old camera with the little click button, but then like my kids are 13, 15, like they've never, I mean, that's old school, right? The little digital camera or the Polaroid, but they have phones, and they use phones for everything but talking for, so anyway, but then that's what we're rolling with, like the different generations and the different applications of technology, and just reimagining how to better serve our clients. And I think the exercise of what happened to you through your journey versus what you would want your clients, your customers' clients to go through. I think like that whole secret shopper concept of like how does it work for someone if they wanted to hire your firm? And I think a lot of us don't want to admit it might be clunky. It might not be as efficient as it should be, but we should address that, because the ones who are evaluating, the ones who are trying to improve that client experience, they're the ones that are going to be more profitable, more recommended, more returned to for repeat business, and and just get ahead in general, and just improve that client experience. And so I commend you on finding a way to improve that client experience, and from a personal experience to putting it in place and trying to improve that journey for all those who are going through such a difficult time.
Agree.
Yeah, thank you.
Client experience.
That's the client experience is important.
Okay, so we're at the conclusion. I've got some rapid questions, so maybe just one of you can answer the questions. So, I mean, you can take turns alternating. So, what is your favorite board game?
Board game.
Yeah.
I will say probably, and maybe a lot of people will hate me for this, Monopoly. I love Monopoly. Buying, selling.
It's funny. That's the most popular answer, but it's not. Of the 100 and I don't know 18, 16 times I've asked that question. But yeah, this says a lot about people's character. Okay, sounds good. What would you say is a habit that contributes to your success?
The habit that contributes to my success.
Like something you do on the regular, that you incorporate in your life.
I even can have I know answer for him.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, that how he's detail oriented, that he is like, and just because we're working a lot together, like how many times this person is asking AI, like adjusting his prompts. Like I am at some point I will open the courses for people, because he never satisfied with the first 9 answers, but answer number 10 he's like, okay, we're closer. And it's all about details. I'm not like that.
I wouldn't say that's a habit, but
that's a habit to pay attention to details.
That's some problems in my mind, in my head.
No, it's a paying attention.
I would say what actually helps me is the habit is sport.
Okay.
I would say that's actually what helps me to keep sane after asking ChatGPT 9 times to refine the answer.
What would you say is a book or a podcast you'd recommend to listeners?
Ooh, a book or podcast. All In podcast is what I would recommend to everyone who's interested in technology, global economics, and what's happening in the world. It's amazing, in my opinion. About the book, I would say I really like Chris Voss Never Split the Difference book about negotiation tactics. I've used it a lot in my life, and I love science fiction. I can go on the whole list. The Three Body, the Chronicles of Amber, all kind of fantasy and
I'm an
science
opposite
fiction.
sector. I'm an opposite with the books.
But you
I'm
still
all
can
about
work together. That's good.
Yeah, I'm all about the classics.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, I mean, whoever, you both can answer if you want to. This is the last question. What do you consider your superpower?
Ooh. I will say for myself, my superpower is never give up. I will knock the door until this door will be open, and it's in any aspects of my life.
Wow, that's awesome. Watch
Yeah.
out, world.
Yeah, I would say resilience. There's so many things happening in this world, and there's so many challenges you're facing as a founder, build as a human being, and as a founder building company. All the ups and downs, and is never giving up. I think is the most important part.
Yeah.
And keeping a positive attitude to life and everything.
Yeah, we have to be positive. There's a lot of ups and downs. Really good reminders, good advice. Well, Anna and Igor, how can people find you and stay connected with you and follow up if they have any questions?
Absolutely. They can find our website, Aparti.ai, Aparti.ai.
Our LinkedIn page. We are posting a lot of interesting things, and we have a great newsletter for family lawyers with a lot of great information every 2 weeks. You can find us on Substack. You can find us in our blog post on Aparti.ai. Very interesting.
And you actually easily going to find us in any major AI model that you're using, Anthropic, ChatGPT by OpenAI.
Yeah.
We're working a lot on this direction, so we're probably one of the top ones if you look for software for family law firms.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate what you're bringing to this field and help innovating in an area that is very challenging for those, who whatever they may going through their divorce or custody or whatever their arrangement, and helping lawyers navigate this journey for their clients to help communicate and have that transparency and leverage technology to improve the client experience, because it does take a toll being the therapist and the counselor, and really wanting to focus on what being a lawyer, but we want to give them that high human contact and those touch points through this journey, which is very challenging and emotional. So thank you for being a part of this ecosystem that we have, and we're all working together to improve.
Thank you, Rubin. Such a pleasure. Thank you so much. And thanks for everything you are doing with the immigration law, with this podcast, bringing to the world great people who can speak on your podcast and share.
Like us.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, it's my pleasure. It brings me joy every Tuesday afternoon when I record, and to see those who are listeners and guests out there in the wild, as I say, at conferences and things like that. So thanks so much, and thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you for tuning in to Power Up Your Practice. I'm Ruby Powers, and it's been a pleasure sharing this time with you. We love your reviews, so if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us one and share this podcast with someone else so that they can know what you've been learning on our show. And make sure to check out the Power Up Your Practice book. It's available in paperback and Kindle on Amazon. It's packed with 25 chapters of strategies to grow and streamline your firm. And we also have the free Power Hub community on School to keep the conversation going in between the episodes. So make sure to keep powering up your practice, and we'll see you next time.